So hello there, the name is Prince Chumanimadu and I warmly welcome you back to my channel. So on today's episode, we are going to look at how to design a social media flyer. Yes, a social media flyer. So without very much ado, let's get started. Okay, so these are the resources that I'll be using, and the first thing we'd like to do is to create a new canvas that we'll work on. So I'm just going to hit Control or Command N, or you can come to File and then you select New. But I'm using the shortcut Control or Command N to actually open a new document. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to just key in a particular canvas size, a particular canvas size that we want. So I'm actually going to leave it in pixels here. This is the size that I'll be using, so you can just use the same thing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and keep my resolution at 300, and then I'm going to hit create. So this is the sheets that we're working on now. So let's just start work. So the very first thing we like to do is to start from we'll pick it from the back and then we'll bring it to the front. So let's work on the background first. So with the background, I just want to do something simple here. So let's pick the pen to just make sure it's on fill, and then the stroke should just be on 0. Yeah, and then I'll just pick a point here, and then I'm going to pick another point here. Now I don't want the whatever that I'm doing to be straight, so I'm just going to bend it this way so that I actually get one side raising this way. And then the next thing I would like to do is to make sure I just join them together here like this. Now I'm going to apply a gradient overlay to this. So we double click here on this layer here to open the layer style for us. And then when the layer style is being opened, let's move to gradient overlay. Okay, so now with the gradient overlay, um let me just put in some color codes here. So okay, so I'll actually be using brown. So let's see shades of brown. Okay, so the next one, you can use the color codes that I'm using, or you can just create your own ingredients that you want to use. Okay, so now with this, I think I want the darker side to be here. Let's see. No. Okay. Oops. I think. Okay. So let me just undo it. I think this one here is a little bit too. Let me just dim it down a little bit. Okay. And then this should come this way. Okay. Okay. So I think this is okay for me. This is okay for me. So now what I'm going to do is to add the text. Let me just add the text. So let's just pick the text tool, and then let's just type in it. So this is actually a flyer for a cake service. Yeah, it's a flyer for a cake service. So flourish and frosty cakes. Flourish and frosty cakes. Yeah. So let's just type that here. Okay. So flourish and frosty cakes. So control A to select everything, and then I'm just going to change the font for this. Okay. So let's see now with the font. Yeah, Akira expanded will be cool for this. So we just make sure we choose a left align for the alignment, and then yeah, it's too close. So I think this here is better. This here is better. You can always keep the letter spacing -20 depending on how you want your work to be. So I'm just going to keep this one here, and then the next thing I'm going to do is to pick the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to draw this rectangle here. Now when I'm done, I'm going to change the whole format, but I just want to build the basics before I start doing any changes or any corrections to it. So now with this same rectangle that I've drawn here, I just want to apply the same gradients to it. So I'll just head on here, double click this layer to open the same layer style for me. So I'm just applying the same gradients here. So I just click on gradient and then it applies. But let's see, should I use a gradient for this? Okay, let me just quit it. I'm just quitting the gradients for this one. Let me just use a flat color for it. So I'm just going to sample a color from this one here like this. Yeah, I think I should do same for this. Okay, so it should be something like this. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to put here, instead of putting in our services or our service or anything of that sort, I'm just going to put in we cater for. I'm just going to put in we cater for. So we cater for, and then with this I'm just going to change the um I'm just going to change the font to no, I don't want a diagram. Okay, so let me go with Gotham for this one. Yeah, I think this will do. So now because I'm going to put this on this, it wouldn't actually be visible because at the end of the day it's having the same color. So let me just change this to white, and then let's decrease the size. Okay, so I'm having here we cater for. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to hold alt and then I'm going to drag this down to duplicate it, change the color from white to black, and then I'm going to list I'm just going to list what they cater for. So they cater for wedding. So if you have anything of that sort, or if you want to key in what I'm keying, fine. If you have your own services or your own whatever that you want to put there, you can just put them there. Okay, so on a normal day this side is just supposed to be what they cater for, but I remember this flyer is actually for a friend, and then she just wanted me to add some little things to it, like spring rolls, pastries, and then the rest. Initially I just wanted to separate them, but she just said she wanted everything together. So I'm just going to put the whole thing together just as she said. And then please you just make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed to the channel. If you are new here, you are welcome. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, and then make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. If you don't understand anything, just let me know, and then I'll be glad and willing to explain. I'll be glad and willing to explain to you. Okay, so this these items here are basically what goes on within flourish and frosty cakes. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it here this way. I'm just going to leave it here this way. Okay, yeah. So then the next thing I'd like to do is to come back to this rectangle too, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. So I'm just not going to do anything big. I'm not going to do anything big, and then um, I'm just not going to do anything small too. So after doing, just move to the stroke side, and then let's increase the stroke a little bit. Let's pick up white for this. Okay, so I think this is okay for me here. Now because I've added a white stroke here, and then the background is also white, you can't really see the difference. So don't worry, we'll work on that. So let's duplicate this. Let's hold Alt, and then we'll duplicate this down, and then we can select both this way, and then we'll duplicate it to the right hand side. Now the next thing we like to do is to drag and hover the mouse over the whole thing here to select this four um, shapes that we have drawn. Control G to group them, and then I'm going to double click here to open the layer style for me again. So now I'm going to add a drop shadow to it so that you actually see the difference between the stroke and the background here. So I just move to drop shadow, and then I add a drop shadow. Okay, so now if you get here, you can play around with it here. So I'm just going to keep the distance on 0. I'm going to reduce the size for this. I think the opacity has to come down a little bit. Yeah, the size still has let's see, this is 13, so let me keep it at 16, and then let's see something. Okay, so I think 16 should be cool. 16 should be cool. So um yeah, 16 should be cool. So this should be on normal. The opacity, you can put it at 38. Distance should be 0, and then the spread should be 7. Size should be 16. If you want to increase it, fine. If you want to decrease it, fine. When it gets here, you just have to play around with it. Okay, so now the next thing I would like to do, before I start bringing in the pictures, I just want to finish adding text and then everything before we bring in the pictures. So the next thing I'm going to put here is to put in the location. So okay, so it's Kaswa. So I'm just going to put in Kaswa here, and then I'm going to change the font again, and then use Akira expanded. I'm also going to try and then leave the fonts in the description below so that you can download them if you don't have them, but it's actually free, so you can just check on Google or something and then you get it. Yeah, you can just check on Google, it's supposed to be there. Okay, so with this, we select the whole thing, and then let's change the color from black to white, and then yeah, I think I'm going to leave it that way. And then I just have to add some social media handles to it. Okay, so now with the social media handles, I'm just going to use a different font altogether. So is it Chiplon or Choplon or whatever the name is? That is what I'm going to use. Yeah, is it Choplin? Yeah. So that is what I'm going to use. So I have here Instagram. I have here Instagram, and then let's just put in the name here. So flourish underscore frosty underscore cake. Okay, yeah, and then the next one is TikTok. I think it has the same name. Yeah, so you can just check it out, and then if you want to order for a cake or something, yeah, you can just do all to order for it. So I think this has to be a little bit bigger, and then I have to shrink the size of this. Yeah, I think at first I was working in CMYK. Yeah, I'm supposed to work in RGB. I didn't check that. Okay, so now this is actual correct color scheme that I have to work with. So to check if you are working in a CMYK, so this is CMYK, and then this is RGB. Okay, so my color scheme is correct. So this is RGB. So to check for it, you just have to put on press on Control or Command Y to actually change it from CMYK or RGB. Yeah, so that is how you easily check if your work is in CMYK. So you can just see the name here, it's now in RGB. Yeah, so I think this is supposed to be underscore, so underscore. Okay, I have to put in the telephone numbers here, so I'm just going to copy the same thing here, and then I'm going to put in the telephone numbers. Yeah. Okay. So with this particular side, I think the minus 20 is too much. So um let me just do it. Let's say a 15 will do. Still, let's see. Okay, let me just leave it on 0. Okay, so let me just leave it on 0. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this one to here. So for more info or bookings, you can just call us. So I'm just going to put in this. So for more info or bookings, please call us here. So and then again, I'm just pausing here to say, if you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for showing up today. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, and then if you have any questions or you have anything to say, you need any help, you can just leave a comment in the description below, and then I'll be willing to come and then assist you with it. Yeah, if you also want me to work on a project for you, you can just message me with the number on the screen, and then I think, yeah, we'll just talk business from there. Yeah. Okay, so I still don't like the color scheme at the down here, so what I'm going to do is to change it. Okay, so let's double click and then go back to um let's go back to this. Yeah, there is something like this that I want. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think it's going too much. I think they should do. They should do. So now I'm going to lock this side here because I need to bring something here. It looks like this whole thing here is taking too much space. So let's just shrink this one this way. Okay, so I'm just going to shrink this up to this side. I think the contact is the most important, so this is supposed to be a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to shift it down here this way. Okay, so now I just need something to separate this and this. So what I'm going to do is to pick the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to draw this line that cuts across these two details here. So I have to change the color and then make it white. Yeah, I think this has to go down a little bit, and then this also has to go down. Yeah, so basically I think, yeah, I think the arrangement is going on well. The arrangement is going on well. Yeah, so now moving on, we'll go back for the rectangle tool again, and then we draw this, not too big, not too small, and then immediately you draw this, this property panel is going to pop up here. Just make sure this is checked or ticked, and then let's bend the edges this way. Okay, so now make sure, after we bend the edges, we make sure we add strokes to it. Now the stroke, we are not going to add black, or we are not going to add white. We're actually going to sample a color from this. So I'll just go ahead and sample a color from this. I think I still have to bend it, okay, to get something like this. Okay, so now Control T for full transformation, and then I just want to size it up a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it here this way, and then I want to put in here order now. So what we're going to do is to, yeah, so order now. Let's change the color. Let's sample the color from this side. Okay, I'm going to choose centered for this. And then I think this has to be big. I just want to place emphasis on the now. Okay. Yeah. So Control T for free transformation, and then I actually scale it down this way. So now what I want to do is to when you look at this thing very well, um the space here, looking at this work very well, there's too much white space here, there's too much white space here. So let's pick our brush to create an empty um layer, and then we decrease the size of the brush. So you can just use the brackets open brackets close to decrease it, or you can just come here and then you select, or you key in a number here, or you can just use this to actually increase or decrease the size of your brush. So what we're going to do is, let's say I keep it on 10. Now let's pick the pen tool. Make sure um, you change this from shape to path, and then yeah, just make sure you pick a perfect color. So I'm going to sample a color from here, and then what I'm going to do is to click this way, click and hold. I'll hold shift, and then I click and hold this way, and then I still hold the shift, and then I draw something like this. So it looks like is it an oval? Yeah. So I think you didn't see what I did here. Okay, so let me just undo it. So after drawing it, you right click, and then you choose stroke path. When you choose the stroke path, normally it's supposed to be on pencil, but we are not using pencil, so you have to change it, and then you choose brush. When you choose the brush, and then you just hit OK, then it's just going to draw this here for you. Okay, so I'm just going to shift it here so that it actually looks like a smiling face or something. I don't know. You can just keep it that way. Yeah, so I think it is now time for us to import um the pictures. Yeah, so I'm going to drag and then drop this here. I don't know, I'm not going to put in I'm just going to not going to give you the pictures that I used. I'm just not going to give it to you. I have my own reasons. Yeah, I think one of the tutorials that I did, I made mention that it is a friend's product, and then I'm just trying to show you the process in which I used for the work. And then I remembered leaving the files in the description for you to download them. And then I happened to chance on a work on Instagram one day, and then the work that I did and the work that the person did is just the same thing. I think when the person downloaded the files for from the tutorial, the person actually didn't change anything. The person didn't even change dots, with exception of the different details that he or she used. The person did the same work, and then when I saw it, I really wasn't happy, because if we keep on doing that, we are not getting creative. I just do the tutorials, post them, and then add the files to it, so that at the end of the day, if you also want to um, create something like that, at least that would inspire you to do more. That would inspire you, or that would just guide you around how you should go about the work. But don't post the work here for you to just copy the work detail. When we do that, we're actually not helping ourselves as creatives here. So I'm not going to leave the files for this particular work in the description. You can just download any cupcake. I think this one's when you go to um, the PNG sites, you actually get them. I'll drop the link to some of the PNG files, PNG sites, in the description, so you can just check there and then you download yours from there. Yeah. So now, the next thing I would like to bring is to just bring in these four pictures here. So I'm just going to hold shift and then select all of them, and then I'm going to bring them here this way. Okay, so now what I have to do is to, I have this four squares here, and then I have these four pictures here. So what I'm going to do is to click on this first one and then click on this image. So that means this and this. So I want to create a clipping mask, so I just quickly drag this one on top of this here this way. Yeah, and then right click. I'm going to right click and then select create clipping mask, and then control T for free transformation, and we stretch. So when I'm stretching images, you just make sure you don't overstretch them. When overstretch images like that, they really don't look nice. So I'm just going to leave this here. So the next one for me to use is the yeah, to use this one here. Okay, so this and this, I'm just going to drag this one here this way. So right click and then select create clipping mask. So with the same formula, control T, and then we size it up. Okay, so now this one is going to go with this one. So yeah, I just have to shift this one here, and then right click again, create clipping mask, control T for field transformation, and then I'm just going to stretch. So basically I'm just repeating the same formula or the same steps over and over again. So I think this is already there. So we create a clipping mask, and then I think I don't even have to stretch this one because it fits exactly. Okay, so yeah, I think we are halfway through. Yeah, I think we are done. We are done. Yeah. So remembered when I started, I said I'm going to change the whole thing when I'm done. So what I'm going to do is to select this ones here this way. I'm just going to select this, and then I'm going to hit Control or Command T, and then I keep my hand on the control, then I shift it this way. So I just want to tilt it, not too much, but I think this should do. Now when you're actually tilting things like this, you have to watch, because when you're tilting it, you can tilt it and then you shrink it inside like this, or you bring it out like this. So however you choose to do it, you just make sure you don't how should I put it, you don't shrink it inside, or you don't shrink it outside. Okay, so yeah, I think this is it. This is it. Um, I think the next thing I have to do is to just increase this one's here a little bit. Oops. Okay, so Control T. Okay, sorry. Yeah, perfect, perfect. I think this is also too big. Okay, so I think the very last thing to come is the paper effect. No, it actually looks like a rubber effect. So that is the last thing that I'll be adding. So we just drag and then we'll drop this here. So I'm just going to make sure this thing actually covers the whole work that I've done. So that means I'm going to put it on top of the layer so that it covers the whole thing. Yeah, I would just want the whole work to look a little bit, I don't know, but I just want to add a little bit flair to the work. So I think it's loading here. Okay, so move this up here this way, Control T for free transformation, and then I stretch. So you just make sure you stretch to actually cover this whole thing here. Yeah, and then when you're done, it actually looks this way. So the next thing we would like to do here is to change the blending mode from normal to multiply, and then as you can see it's already giving me this particular look here. Yeah, so you can just keep it there or just decrease it. To me it's kind of making the thing look too clumsy, so I'm just going to decrease it. I think even a 50 will do. Just a 50 will do for me. Yeah, just a 50 will do for me. So now the very last thing I would like to add is some floating leaves. I think this side is kind of too plain. So what I'm going to do is to just um, place embedded. So I just have some floating leaves that I'm just going to put in here. So I have this here. Yeah. Okay. So I even think I don't have to do anything because it fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess yeah, my work here is actually done for today. Yeah. I think my work here is done for today. My work here is done for today. Let me see if I've not left out anything. So I think that is all. I think that is all. Yeah. So thank you for joining me on this video. As I said, if you are new here, if this is your first time watching my video, hope you like what you saw. Just make sure you um, like the video, you leave a comment in the comment section, and then don't forget to subscribe. You can also share the links to friends, you can share to family members, you can share to anyone at all, so that you also learn something. Yeah, you also learn something. You also learn something. And then most of the videos we have people watching. Yeah, people really watch the video, but to subscribe is even a problem. So yeah, before you think of clicking on another video, just make sure you hit on the subscribe button. Yes, and then you can always put us on post notifications so that you receive notifications each and every time I post a video. So yeah, it's a nice way to end October. um yeah, thank you for all the birthday wishes. Yeah, I love you all. Once again, the name is Miss Chuma Nimedu, and I'm out. Peace.